Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Japan is just one of a number of countries halting shipments to the U.S. in response to President Trump ending the de minimis exemption. What that means for online shoppers and those waiting for a shipment.
UTSA and UT Health have joined forces, creating the third largest public research university in Texas. What this means for students, employees, patient care, and the local economy.
And the top spot to stop at during your road trip is Buc-ee's. And this morning, our Devin Karp is out there speaking to travelers in New Braunfels. We'll check in with him throughout the show this morning.
Best spot to stop. Happy Labor Day, guys. September the 1st. We'd have made it.
We did. Welcome into Labor Day. Yeah, I cannot literally drive by a Buc-ee's without the car stopping.
Oh, yeah. My parents, they are literally halfway through their trips now. But every time they're coming from Arkansas, they always stop at Buc-ee's. They don't stop anywhere else. So they always time out their gas trips with Buc-ee's trips. And it's awesome.
I get it. So we'll talk to Devin coming up in just a little bit. But we begin with a look outside to see how things are shaping up on this Monday, Labor Day. And of course, you might expect a down day for traffic, which is not a terrible thing. Construction workers have the day off as well today. And the sun is shining after some people got some rain late yesterday.
74 outside, Justin.
Just my personal opinion, but I loved it last night. The rain was coming down. There was a little bit of thunder. There was college football on. It just
perfect.
It was right. It was good. Very easy to go to sleep. I'll say that. Yes. We'll show you the rainfall totals coming up in just a bit, but I want to get you the latest on what's going on right now, what you can expect for your Labor Day, because I know there's some people out there getting ready to fire up the grill. And if you look outside right now, it is quiet. 75 degrees at the airport, 77 in New Braunfels, 70 at Bernie, 77 at Stinson. So a pretty nice morning. Temperatures a little cooler than they have been, and we will see a cooler day. Now, it's not going to be, in the 80s or anything, but we're thinking low 90s, a little bit better than what we've been dealing with. You look at the Authority radar right now, and most of the rain is down to our south and west. So Crystal City and Carrizo Springs getting some decent rain this morning. Pearsall, you're getting some showers. And then we've seen some further south towards Beeville and Refugio and down along the Texas coast. Again, not much here in San Antonio right now. With that said, once we get some daytime heating, it's possible we can get a few isolated storms, but I would certainly not cancel your outdoor plans. Just be prepared to dodge a shower or two if they do pop up. It will not look like yesterday. High temperature, only around 90. Can't beat that. Then temperatures will fall into the 80s as we get into tonight. As we look down the line, there are more rain chances, namely next weekend. We'll explain why coming up here in just a couple minutes.
All right, this morning, a person was killed in a car crash on the south side. This happened just before 6 o'clock this morning on Morrison Boulevard near East Ashley Road. Police say the details about what caused the crash are still unclear. The driver's identity and cause of death are pending from the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. We have reached out to SAPD for more information.
All right, let's switch gears real quick. As people hit the roads for Labor Day, one spot again in particular is the popular one with a ton of travelers.
Of course, Buc-ee's, what can you say? Our Devin Karp has been there all morning long talking to different people, and so Devin joins us outside right now with the gas pumps. How are things looking, sir?
Well, we're starting to get a little bit busier here as everyone wakes up and starts to drive back from some of their Labor Day vacations. Check out the pumps behind me. They're not all quite full yet, but then again, keep in mind that Buc-ee's has quite a lot of them over here this morning. We've been talking with some of these travelers coming through Buc-ee's. Sometimes it's their first trip to Texas, making their way through the legendary gas station. For others, it's a tradition going through whenever they can get that weekend holiday time. But you might notice there's been some changes at the gas pumps, especially with Labor Day coming up. Well, that's because the vacation means such a high demand for road trips that a lot of companies have seen their price fluctuates. Right now, according to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of gas in Texas right now is sitting at about $2.77 or so. But you might see some changes once the holiday finishes up, according to this expert from AAA.
We encourage drivers to shop around for the cheapest gas prices because you can find a difference in the pump prices, and sometimes these gas stations are not far away. So we encourage people to shop around. If you don't have to drive too far out of your way to find cheaper gas, we encourage you to visit those cheaper gas stations.
Hey, cheaper gas, always nice when we can get it. Coming up later on GMSA, you're going to be hearing from some of the people traveling around Texas and some of the ways you can try to save at the pump. In the meantime, let me know if you guys want any orders. I'll see if I can bring back beaver nuggets for the station.
All right, Devin, thank you so much. Now, happening today, there are plenty of events to enjoy with the family if you do have that day off. Starting with Labor Day celebrations at Market Square, there are going to be live entertainment, food vendors, and family-friendly activities happening from 10 to 6.
Also happening along the San Antonio Riverwalk near the Chamber of Commerce and the shops at River Center, local artists and vendors will set up for an artisan Labor Day market. That kicks off at 11 this morning. For more information on events happening today, just go to KSAT.com.
And if you're off, again, the holiday, you got a chance to get some dental work done for free. Reese's Dental and Braces hosting its 14th annual Labor of Love Free Dental Care Day. I had one of my viewers and friends reached out and saying that, hey, I need to figure out what that address is. I got to get something hooked up. Event underway and runs until noon today at the locations of Woodlawn Lake and Culebra Meadows.
So you can choose one free dental service like a cleaning, a filling, a simple extraction, an exam, an x-ray. Services are first come, first served, so hopefully you are able to make it there in time. Be prepared to fill out paperwork and wait your turn. The event also features music, food, and activities for the community.
Just a reminder, do not forget federal holiday today means places that will be closed, including schools and, of course, banks, courthouses, and city offices.
CPS Energy offices and customer service centers will be shut as well. For more information on what else is closed for Labor Day, just go to KSAT.com.
Now it's time for today's 9 at 9.
Rescue operations are underway after a devastating earthquake killed more than 800 people in Afghanistan. The 6.0 magnitude quake hit the eastern Kunar province just before midnight and injured more than 2,000 people.
Heavy downpours turned parts of Houston into a flood zone yesterday. Roads quickly filled with water, leaving some drivers stranded and others forced to navigate through flooded streets. Officials there urging people to avoid high water in flooded areas.
Beginning today, a long list of new laws are set to take effect in Texas. Among those, a new $1 billion school voucher program begins rolling out, while diversity, equity, and inclusion policies are banned in public schools to prevent racism. You can view the full list of all the new laws right now at KSAT.com. Just search for new Texas laws.
Coming in at number 4, we got the White House saying that cutting off the tariff exemption for low-cost packages could raise $10 billion a year. The de minimis exemption ended last Friday. Experts warn that it will almost certainly mean higher prices for shoppers.
Verizon says it has restored wireless service to thousands of customers impacted by an outage on Saturday. There were complaints posted from across the country that phones were stuck in SOS mode for hours. Verizon says the blackout was caused by a software issue.
And number 6, today marks 40 years since explorers located the wreckage of the Titanic on the ocean floor. Former Navy officer Robert Ballard and French oceanographer Jean-Louis Michel made the discovery with the help of an experimental unmanned submersible called the Argo.
Oui, oui. All right, Costco's controversial shopping policy officially starts today. Back in June, the warehouse chain allowed shoppers with executive memberships to enter the store from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. during the week. That meant other customers would have to wait until 10 o'clock to shop. The company said the policy was not strictly enforced, but now Costco says the grace period is over and the policy will begin today.
And today, the Powerball jackpot now up to a staggering $1.1 billion. The next drawing tonight, but do not forget or get your hopes up too high because the odds of hitting that jackpot about 1 in 292 million. Didn't mean to be all depressing on you, but hey, it's always a chance.
All right. Well, superstar Lady Gaga is returning to the MTV Video Music Awards show. The network made the announcement Saturday that Gaga was officially on the list of performers. Lady Gaga is the leading nominee at the VMAs with 12 nominations, and that's today's 9 at 9. Thank you.
Okay, over the weekend, vendors and fans packed that Henry V. Gonzalez Convention Center. They had the South Texas' biggest anime and gaming convention, San Antonio or San Japan. And then something people might have noticed were the prices higher than usual.
Yeah, with the administration's recent tariffs, the San Japan had an emphasis on Japanese culture, and the tariff prices on Japanese goods was definitely evident. On Friday, the White House ended a century-old import exemption, forcing tariffs on goods under $800 coming into the U.S. from a foreign country.
It makes it really difficult. And right now we're eating most of the tariff costs. We mostly eat a lot of the shipping tariffs in general. And I've just been trying to keep it level. So our profit margin is even less than it normally is. Tariffs have been a nightmare. Specifically, I know currently after the most recent change, we've had a lot of shippers they're not shipping to us anymore from Japan. They're on hold indefinitely until the tariff situation gets figured out.
Now, despite the rising cost, local demand has some owners hopeful and grateful after seeing a big turnout in a community that wants to continue supporting them. Speaking about that exemption that ended Friday on goods coming into the U.S., the $800 online shoppers could face higher costs and longer delivery times.
That goes for items like trendy sunscreens and serums from Korean beauty websites, matcha from online Japanese vendors, and even recently popular tinned fish from European sites.
Experts say that you may see new fees at checkout and some packages might be delayed.
Okay, 9:08 right now, 75 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Got a healthcare product recall now expanding, while officials warn these items could pose risks, especially for people with weak immune systems.
And a judge has dismissed Southwest Airlines' lawsuit against San Antonio over airport gate assignments. But look into why the judge ultimately made that decision coming up.
A judge has dismissed Southwest Airlines' lawsuit against the city of San Antonio over gate assignments at the airport's future terminal. Now, Judge Xavier Rodriguez granted the city's motion to dismiss, saying that Southwest didn't present a strong enough case to move forward.
Southwest had claimed the city penalized them for not offering amenities like a club lounge, which led to their exclusion from Terminal C. The airline also accused the city of a bait and switch tactic, but the court found no new facts that could change that outcome.
All right, we got some big news for San Antonio. UTSA and UT Health San Antonio have officially merged to become the third largest public research university in the state. New institution brings together top-tier research, healthcare, and academics.
Now, it impacts more than 40,000 students, 17,000 employees, and millions in patient care across South Texas. Experts say the merger will boost the local economy, create future-ready jobs, and advance breakthrough research that could change lives.
Austin set to host the world premiere of a new documentary about Spurs legend Tim Duncan at this year's Austin Film Festival. The film, called The Boy from St. Croix, is directed by Tim's brother, Scott Duncan, who's an award-winning producer with 21 Emmys to his name.
The documentary offers an intimate look at Tim's career and his deep ties to his hometown in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The festival runs October 20th, 3rd through the 30th, featuring 7 world premieres.
And check this out. We got a professor from the University of Texas at San Antonio. He's been nominated for an MTV Music Award. Founder of the White Rhino VFX, Daniel Saldivar, and his team worked on a visual effects for Tate McRae's music video, Just Keep Watching, part of the F1, which is the movie soundtrack.
They were nominated for Best Visual Effects. Saldivar says they cleaned up dozens of shots, removing wires and camera gear to make everything look perfect. He'll be teaching a post-production class in the fall at UTSA focusing on visual effects. In the spring, he'll teach a music video production class.
That is cool.
I think it's safe to say that UTSA is on the up and up.
Oh, right.
They're having a moment right now.
They are.
Sure.
Speaking of on being on the up, let's look up in the sky. What's happening?
I thought you were about to say, look up at me. I'm like, another tall joke.
No.
Yes. Yes, let's look up to the sky and see what's going on. We got some clouds there off in the distance. No rain here in San Antonio. In fact, the sun is peeking out, and it's really pretty nice at this hour here in San Antonio. 75 degrees at the airport, 77 in New Braunfels, 72 Bernie. We do have a north wind, and that's going to help us with temperatures today. It's not going to be as hot. I mean, I still think we get up to 90, but that's better than yesterday's 96 and those previous days where we were up above 100. The Authority radar this morning shows we still have some activity down here around Pearsall, Crystal City, Carrizo Springs. Most of this is pretty light at this point. We haven't detected a lot of lightning strikes or anything like that. We had some heavier storms with this activity between Beeville and Port Lavaca, but that has since pushed south and out of our viewing area. So this will be our focus here. Del Rio, Brackettville, south of Uvalde, they're around La Pryor and Batesville. Expect some light rain to continue, and boy, the farmers down there are certainly loving this. Here in San Antonio, there is not much. I will tell you, once we get some daytime heating, it's possible we get an isolated storm or two. I'm going to put rain chances at 30%. But even if we see anything today, it's not going to be like yesterday where we have a big cluster of storms moving through. It'll be 1 or 2 isolated storms, and that's it. So really, your outdoor plans should be okay. If you got the grill fired up, keep it going. 90 is our forecast high. 87 at 7 p.m., 85 at 8 p.m. And by that point, I really think rain chances will start to fade. As we look at the futurecast here, it does want to hold on to some of these storms out west. We shall see. If we're going to see, I'd say, any decent rainfall, this is where it would be. But even around 2 o'clock, it shows a couple of these stray storms popping up, which is why I'm going to leave that rain chance in for San Antonio. But we'll also see some sun today as well. Now let's talk long term, and this is going to be a point of emphasis, I think, going through the rest of this week. If you look at the upper level pattern, as we get towards midweek, it's out of the north, but this is actually going to be a very dry and kind of stable flow for us. Then we watch a trough developing out west. Now, there are some indications that this could join forces with a Pacific hurricane. Now, if this happens, and this takes a lot of things to go right for this to happen, then we could see some heavy rain around the area. We would get some good lift and we'd have some good moisture to work with. I don't think that's set in stone yet. I think we have to wait and see if these two things can kind of happen in concert. But if they do, I would say Saturday into Sunday, we've got to watch for some heavy rain. And we've raised rain chances just a little bit to account for that. So 30% today, 10% tomorrow. Really, I don't expect much Tuesday through Friday. But Saturday, Sunday will be a couple days to watch, depending on what happens out there in the Pacific and with this approaching storm system. Do know that once we get more sun by Wednesday and Thursday, we're right back up into the upper 90s. Don't love that. But if we can get some rain this weekend, that would pull temperatures back down.
All right, Justin. 9:18 right now, 75 degrees outside.
Right after the break, a look at your latest recalls, including a salad kit sold at Walmart that has been recalled in 25 states, including Texas.
9:22 right now. Okay, we got a recall alert to tell you about nationwide. Check this out. This is one of those healthcare products. It's expanding that Dermarite Industries has added more products to its voluntary recall from July due to that potential microbial contamination. The expanded list includes the sanitizers or hand sanitizers, cleansers, skin protectants, and a deodorant. Contaminated products could cause serious and life-threatening infections for anyone with a weakened immune system.
Taylor Fresh Foods is recalling one of its salad kits due to the potential of undeclared ingredients. The recall is just for the Taylor Farms Honey Balsamic Salad Kit. The company says the salad dressing in the kit is actually the Asian sesame ginger dressing and not the honey balsamic vinaigrette dressing. As a result, the dressing may include some soy, or I should say, may include sesame and soy, which are two major allergens.
Oh, Lord. Okay, 9:23 right now. We've got so much more ahead on GMSA at 9.
All right, we'll take a look, outside at a pretty quiet commute. At some points, you could count the number of cars with one or two hands on the roads here. So we'll keep you updated if something does happen on the roads this hour.
And still ahead, we got a new technique used to keep cattle safe, how it involves drones. We'll explain in the next half hour. We'll be back. Coming up on 9:30, this happy Labor Day. Look at those clouds a little bit. Obviously, we've been dealing with some type of stuff in our atmosphere. We had that yesterday.
Well, I know we had rain yesterday, and if you're talking about atmosphere, I know Justin hinted at the allergens being in the atmosphere today.
I got a piece of tissue in my hand right now.
Yes, molds, 1,900. They jumped into the high category. I guess it stands to reason. We had some good rain. So the mold numbers probably will be elevated next couple of days. Just a heads up there. Let me show you the big picture, what's going on right now. So there is some activity down to the south and west of San Antonio. There's still a very weak boundary down there. We're feeling, a little cooler this morning behind this boundary. But that's where we're seeing the showers and storms as it stands right now, and most of that again is south and west of San Antonio. So let's zoom in a little bit closer here with Authority radar, and you can see where that rain is right now. Crystal City, I mentioned La Pryor and Batesville, those areas getting some good rain just to the east of Crystal City, and then around Derby and down towards Dilley. Big Wells getting some rain. Here in San Antonio, just a few clouds. We are not expecting much today. There's going to be about a 20 to 30% chance of rain. Temperatures will be a little cooler, though, thankfully. A high of only 90 here in town. and then look for temperatures to slip down into the 80s tonight. Tomorrow and the rest of the week will be significantly warmer. Trust me. We'll take a look at that forecast here in just a couple minutes.
All right, 9:28 right now. Back outside to show you the Labor Day commute. And again, a lot of people off today, including construction workers. And so we didn't have the overnight construction. And of course, school's not in today. And so pretty quiet on the roads. If you do need to go somewhere, then you're in luck. Weather obviously not an issue either. And no reports of any major significant accidents right now as we go through some of the cameras here. Of course, we'll let you know if that changes in the next half hour here on GMSA at 9.
Happening today, San Antonio workers and community groups are gathering at City Hall to protest Project Marvel. They say that spending hundreds of millions on a new stadium while teachers struggle is just not right.
The groups want big investments in schools, public transportation, affordable housing, and good union jobs that pay family-sustaining wages. The demonstration is underway right now at 100 Military Plaza.
On this Labor Day, travelers may stop at Buc-ee's for that snack.
Or earrings or whatever. So much stuff.
Souvenirs.
So many options. Our Devin Karp has been there all morning long talking to travelers as they're making their way to and from their destination. So I see you're with the iconic Buc-ee, the beaver there. Devin, good morning.
Good morning, Ernie. Oh yeah, I'm just hanging out with my new best friend here. You know, we go way back from all the road trips I took as a kid growing up here in Texas. And now we're hearing from you, all the thousands of drivers who are making their way through Buc-ee's and Texas for this drive this morning here. There's going to be millions of them on the road throughout the day. We've been speaking with some of the travelers here who say that it helps to get up early, try to beat some of the crowds, get some nice space in between everything, and of course, look for some of those cheaper gas prices when you can find them. Never hurts to try to save some money in the economy. But one top person I talked to earlier today says no matter where you're coming from here in Texas, Buc-ee's, you gotta do it. It's the melting pot of road trips.
Maybe the vibes, because like, you know, everyone has like their own different life. So like you're here for your specific like thing and then everyone else is here for their specific thing. Like I like how everyone is so involved.
Patrolling for Labor Day, making sure everyone gets home safe. So keep it slow, keep it spaced out, and you should get to your destinations all right. Live over here in New Braunfels at Buc-ee's with new beaver nuggets soon to be in my hand. I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12.
All right, Devin, thank you so much. And just a reminder, we don't want you guys to forget it is a federal holiday today, which means some places may be closed. We're talking about the schools and banks, courthouses and city offices. CPS Energy offices and customer service centers will be shut down too. We got more information on what is closed and what's not Labor Day. Just head to KSAT.com. All right, we got the latest on the investigation here. One woman is dead after a hit and run over the weekend. San Antonio police still searching for the driver. This happened early Sunday morning along Babcock Road and Wurzbach Road. On the northwest side, SAPD say that a woman and a person driving in a parking lot hit the woman and then took off without stopping to render aid. Well, the victim, who has not been identified just yet, was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are now on the lookout for the driver, who is believed to be driving a Nissan Murano. A man who was experiencing homelessness was shot and killed last week on the southwest side. San Antonio police say that Thomas Ray Harper was at the corner of Southwest Military Drive near Salazar Zamora when someone shot and killed him after an argument.
Police are still looking for a man and a woman who police say were possible suspects. Harper's family and friends held a vigil for him last night to make sure that people remember him for who he was and not for his living situation.
I just saw him the other day.
I don't want people just to think my brother was just some homeless person out here. You know, he was loved and cared for.
The guy stopped off and gave him some food and a little bit of money and told him, "You good?" He's like, "I'm good." I said, "All right, I'll see you soon." And then I got caught up in work and busy, and I just didn't get to see him after that.
If you have any information on this case, contact the San Antonio Police Homicide Department.
KSAT working to learn more about an animal care services investigation into an 18-year-old who was bit by a pit bull over the weekend. At last check, dog hasn't been picked up just yet, and the victim expected to be okay though. Happened in the Harlandale Park area near the outdoor basketball courts. Witnesses say that the dog's owner walked away from the scene with the dog.
A dramatic water rescue late last night on the northeast side. Police say a man walked into a creek bed near Grantham and Brettonwood to look at the rising water when he fell in. Neighbors heard his cries for help and called 911. San Antonio firefighters used a boat to pull him to safety, and thankfully he was not seriously hurt.
The Hays County Sheriff's Office confirmed that a helicopter crashed near Round Mountain yesterday. They say that there are reports of some injuries, but no deaths. DPS now working with the FAA to investigate what led up to that crash. And KSAT 12 digital team been digging through more than 7,000 pages of new documents released by the Uvalde CISD. And so far, those records show that school officials may have received a warning nearly 24 hours before the Robb Elementary shooting. Internal emails and call logs revealed 2 calls the day before.
A receptionist said the caller, a teenage male, asked if the school had already been shut up. The tragic shooting happened around 11:30 the next day, and investigators are still piecing together what happened. We will continue to go through the records and update you on air and online. After flood damage hit the Hill Country Arts Foundation, the executive director is not letting that stop their performances.
And they say that the show must go on. Patty Santos tells us about the performances now happening in new spaces.
The show must go on.
We're theater people. We'll just do theater anywhere. Improvise. Exactly.
The Hill Country Arts Foundation just wrapped up its summer shipwreck play.
We cannot use our theaters at the moment, so we have moved outside to Stonehenge too.
The HCAF indoor and outdoor theater space and building was severely impacted by the flood.
Damage-wise, just repairing the damage to the buildings, the outdoor theater, the indoor theater, offices, and the ceramic studio is about $2 million, and that's before putting any equipment in it.
Future shows and performances will be worked around in new spaces, but Executive Director Sarah Tacey says with the financial support coming in, the goal is to be back soon.
In my dream of dreams, it's certainly ready for next summer.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
All right, 9:35, 75 degrees outside. You are watching GMSA at 9.
Keeping away hungry wolves from the livestock, what the government is incorporating to achieve that. Coming your way. 9:39 right now. Here's a look at this morning's headlines. A federal judge has put a temporary stop to the deportation of dozens of unaccompanied Guatemalan children, blocking flights scheduled to leave Texas over the holiday.
Attorneys argued the children, many fleeing violence or abuse, were being rushed out without due process. The ruling means they'll remain in the U.S. for at least 2 more weeks while their cases play out. The flights were scheduled to depart from Harlingen and El Paso. The decision comes amid a larger Trump administration plan to remove hundreds of unaccompanied children. Last year, under the Biden-Harris administration, DHS admitted it did not know the location of nearly 300,000 unaccompanied children who came here illegally and were sent to live with adult sponsors.
A 10-year-old boy being called a survivor after last week's deadly shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis. That's where a trans-identifying man used multiple weapons marked with hate-filled messages to target Catholic children.
Weston Halsney says a friend shielded him from gunfire during morning mass, likely saving his life. Doctors later found a bullet fragment lodged in his neck just millimeters from a major artery. Weston's now facing surgery. The shooting left 2 children dead and 18 others hurt. Mass resumed in the school's auditorium over the weekend while the sanctuary remains closed.
All right, the government has armed itself with a new high-tech weapon aimed at keeping the cattle safe.
They're now enlisting the help of drones to scare away hungry wolves lying in wait to prey on the livestock. ABC's Lionel Moise explains how it works.
These newly released images show how the Agriculture Department is saving cattle from being attacked by wolves.
You're up with the drone and you're using the thermal camera to just monitor for wolf presence near the cattle.
The department is using drones with thermal cameras to reveal any wolves lurking nearby. Once spotted, they play certain sounds from the drone's loudspeakers to scare them off, blasting everything from the sound of fireworks to the AC/DC song Thunderstruck. But what apparently works best is the sound of people yelling.
The human voice was the strongest response out of all the other sounds that we were playing, whether it was a sound, the gunshots, what have you.
They were absolutely right.
All your best acting is behind you. You're back to being a hack.
This clip of a couple arguing from the movie Marriage Story does the trick. Gray wolves, once nearly extinct, have made a big comeback across the U.S., which is good news, but not for cattle ranchers.
They're going to basically go after cattle because they're a much easier mark than they are deer.
Ranchers say they appreciate the help the drones provide, but worry the wolves may eventually get used to them.
At some point, the wolves are going to figure out, yeah, that thing makes a lot of noise, but I'm still hungry and I still want to take down whatever it is they're going after.
For now, the drones are working. After being deployed in Oregon and California, cattle deaths from wolf attacks have dropped significantly. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
I know we're supposed to let nature happen, but I get so upset when I see people record the videos of nature happening and it'd be like a lion or some type of big predator that's actually winning against the prey. But I love seeing an underdog story where those little meerkats just jump out and
they get away.
Yeah, they get away, man. That's I fight for that, but I get it. We got to let it happen, but it just that
the honey badger.
Yeah, what? I'll never see the honey badger in a situation.
Yeah, well, I'm with you though. You see all these little animals.
Yeah, you
mongoose,
stop them.
Yeah,
but you can't. You got to let them have their steak and eat it too, right? Okay,
so to speak.
Okay, let's take a look at September climatology. So yes, it is September 1st, and our average high this time of year is 94. The average low is 73. By the time we get into late September, the average high is 87. Average low is 66. So it does get much better in the month of September. We start to see fronts and we see rain, 3.88 inches. September tends to be one of our rainier months. And just like that, well, this wasn't in September technically, but we did get rain last night and a lot of it in some spots. 3.11 inches in San Antonio at the airport. That was just shy of a daily record, I should say. 1.47 downtown, 1.72 near Elmendorf, Castroville over 2 inches, Bernie about 1/4 of an inch. So I'd say around town we averaged about an inch, but there were some places that got a lot more and some places that didn't get as much. You look at the rainfall for the year, we're at 23.8. The average is 20.8. So we are 3 inches above average. Pretty good. Del Rio still 9 inches below average. So that's a place that needs some rain. They had a little bit this morning, but not a lot. You look at authority radar right now, we're still detecting some of these slow moving showers from Crystal City to Batesville up to La Pryor and Uvalde back over to Pearsall. These are probably going to fade away here over the next couple of hours, but they're still bringing some decent rain there. No rain in San Antonio, and things are quiet here with temperatures in the mid-70s, 77 degrees in New Braunfels, 73 Bernie, 78 right now at Stinson. So we're off to a really good start, and I think today the temperatures will be easier to deal with. Not as hot. 90 is what we're going with here in town, 91 in Pleasanton, but you'll find 80s up in the hill country. This is some of the coolest temperatures we've seen in a while. It doesn't really last, though, because once we get into tomorrow, temperatures start to jump right back up. Here's a look at the futurecast, and it does hold on to some of those showers and storms out west. And then by the afternoon, spotty downpour, too. I just can't rule it out. And I think the odds probably decrease the further into today that we go. But I'm going to keep a 30% chance in there just because I think with some daytime heating, we could certainly see a few showers flare up. Okay, let's talk long term. And we talked a little bit about this last half hour. But one thing we've got to watch is the potential of a hurricane in the Pacific joining forces with a trough that develops out west. If these two things can kind of come together, if this trough can pull across Texas and then pull up some of that moisture from the Pacific, then we could be looking at a pretty good rain event. I don't think this is a guarantee. Sometimes the timing on this has to be sort of perfect. If they miss each other, then we probably won't see the same result. But as of right now, we've upped rain chances late Saturday going into Sunday, and I would say this is a time frame we need to watch for the potential of some heavy rain. We'll keep you posted. Again, it's not a guarantee, but as we get a little bit closer, we'll have a better idea. Hey, out in the tropics, we do have one wave. This is the coast of Africa here. The Hurricane Center is giving us a 40% chance of development. We have time to watch. Probably one of the more promising waves that has come off the coast of Africa. But we've yet to see just the Atlantic really wake up and produce just a bunch of storms. We shall see where we're getting closer and closer to that peak. In fact, really just a week or two away from that. All right, extended forecast. 95 tomorrow, 98 Wednesday, Thursday, 96 Friday. I think generally dry conditions tomorrow through Friday, but the weekend Right now, we're going 30% Saturday, 40% Sunday. But if the models continue to indicate what we're showing you with the moisture from the Pacific and whatnot, then those numbers will go up.
Cool beans, Justin. Okay, it's 9:46 right now. We're looking at 75 degrees outside.
All right, SA Live coming up in just a few minutes. And if you're heading to the coast for this Labor Day,
they found one of the top travel influencers in Texas to share some of the places that you have to visit in Corpus Christi. Just take a look.
Hey y'all, this is Chief and Jessica back at it for another adventure.
This time we are in the beautiful Corpus Christi Beach and we have so much to show you, starting with these amazing mopes. They come in all sorts of fun colors and you can drive this on the beach or around town. It's so fun. We are getting so many stares, so many smiles, so many waves. You're definitely the center of attention when you're in these. When I learned we were taking a discovery flight, I thought that meant we were going to discover Corpus Christi. No, we are discovering what it's like to be a pilot. So I am actually going to get to fly an airplane. This is crazy. I cannot believe this because they do all sorts of training here. So you can actually learn to be a pilot with Splendid Aviation. And I am so excited. I can't believe they're actually trusting me to do this.
If you're in Corpus and need to cool off, this place is a must. Hurricane Alley's got wave pools, splash zones, and water attractions everywhere. We hit one of the big slides and it was way crazier than we expected. The red and white mat slide was a favorite too, especially when the kids are racing each other. And when you need a break, the lazy river is perfect. Super family friendly and such a fun way to spend the day.
It may be the middle of summer, but it is not too early for the Halloween store here at Wild Wolf. They have all the crazy masks, all the Halloween things that you can think of. This is a year-round store, and wow, there are some creepy things in there. If you love Halloween, this is your go-to store. For some old school arcade games, we have Retro Arcade. I mean, they've got pinball machine, they have all of your classics. Some things I've never seen before, like they have a football throwing game, which I thought was really cool. But then what really stands out is on the second floor. The glass is actually see-through on the floor, so you're looking down right into the bar as you're playing. I am a sucker for an aesthetic cafe, and Central Kitchen just blows it out of the water. It is so cute inside, and I love how they are freshly baking items all throughout the day. It's so gorgeous, and they even have this little inlet, and you can actually see them baking right there in front of you. This is a perfect spot for breakfast, and they have so many good things.
We stayed at the Omni Corpus Christi, and it ended up being the perfect spot for our trip. The indoor-outdoor pool was great for cooling off, and the room was super cozy with a beautiful bay view to wake up to. It's also right by the marina, so restaurants, shops, and everything else was just a short walk away.
How cute and colorful is this store? So Bonita has all these different Latino and Mexican-owned goods from local, small vendors, big ones. So when you come here in Corpus Christi, you're getting so much Latin flair and fun, but you're also supporting a whole bunch of small businesses, which is so incredible.
We also stopped by Brewster Street Ice House and loved the laid-back feel. There's live music, a covered outdoor area with picnic tables, and plenty of space to hang out. Inside, it's all rustic decor with that classic Texas look and Americana touches. And the food, all the comfort classics plus the dessert was seriously good.